Hey everyone, welcome to the Reseller Stew episode number 86. 86! We got Trish, we got Lucy, we got me, and all of our goodies that we found or sold. So anyway, everybody, thanks for joining us. How's everybody doing? How you doing, Trish?
Good, so good. Been so really good. In a funkadelic mood lately, but I'm out of it.
I was too, and I the other night I was having like one of those, those little down moments where you're like, I'm screwing up everything. I'm an awful person. And then I was just like, I need to change that mindset. I just need to be like, just do, and it's okay. And whatever you get done is awesome. And whatever you don't get done, it's all right. The world, you're not going to die. You've been to the bottom many times. You've always come back fine.
It's funny how we put that on ourselves. And then if you stepped back and looked at it the way other people look at it, they're like, what are you complaining about? You're fine.
Yeah. I know.
We get in our head.
Yeah. When people look, like other people looking and be like, your life is awesome. What's wrong with you? You don't appreciate anything. Your life is awesome. But on the inside, we're like, I'm a terrible person.
I don't like it.
Do either of you guys write down your accomplishments?
No, but I'm actually thinking about starting to do more of like a gratitude journal, or, instead of sitting here and doing the to-do and goals and this, kind of documentation, I was thinking about just sitting down and similar to like an accomplishment thing of just being like, okay, this is what I did. And this is why my day was awesome. I have an amazing husband who accepts all my flaws,
I'm not quite that put together for like a daily gratitude thing, but I mean, we always are focusing on goals and how much we should get done, etc., and what we could do to get better. I also try to jot down my accomplishments, and I just have like a little Word document, and I just put in there, I started, I just added, because I was feeling down too. I get a little bit of bouts of depression, or you're just feeling down, or like you can't, I don't know, just down. And so, I bought a scanner, I started a new repricer program, and I signed up on a new website, and I got some wholesale accounts. So I'm like, okay, if you're feeling down, you go back and you look at that and you're like, oh, okay, I did do stuff. I did accomplish things.
It's so easy to have this never ending to-do list, and then you're just like, oh, I didn't finish 80 things, but the 10 you did were great. And I really need to focus more in that area of like, everything's awesome. Not everything's awesome, but everything's not terrible.
Well, write down what you accomplished. That's what I try to do. And then, my husband he's not my business partner, but he's my partner in life. And so every so often, usually like quarterly, we'll sit down and go over how's the business doing, because he's got a stake in this too. And I can then show the accomplishments, because I blank out. People say, oh, what have you done lately? And I go, oh my God, I don't know. I got dressed this morning. That's all. My mind just goes blank. So I bring up this little sheet of paper, and then we can go over sales and what was accomplished and kind of see if the two are correlating.
Oh, Yvon gave us a super chat. You didn't have to do that, Yvon. You're part of this too. Yvon has a new show. Yeah, Yvon has a new show coming out. It's on Monday, February the 4th, and it's with Casa Chic. I always forget their name because they changed it. Is it Quick Sell, Buy Sell? Quick
Flip Quick?
It's Buy Quick. I don't know. I love them. They're an amazing couple, but they changed their name like not a couple months ago, and I can't ever remember what it is now. And one other person. I wasn't prepared to announce a show, but and I don't even know. I think it's on Yvon's channel. Is it on your channel, Yvon? I don't even
put it in the chat, Yvon.
Yeah, just go ahead and put it in the chat. But yeah. So that should be interesting. I know it's on Monday, the 4th of February. But anyway. So back to depression. No, just kidding. So quick. Okay. Huh?
I think it's important to discuss how to curb it, because as you work alone and do entrepreneurship, you find that with everybody, not just people that sell online, but people that own their own business in whatever industry. You know, you have bouts of low sales or bad things that happen, and you know, it knocks you down. So it's,
well, you know, that's one thing I've always tried to tell people when they're looking at their, oh, my weekend was terrible, or my Monday and Tuesday was terrible. And it's like, why are you even grouping it that way? Like, what if your week ran Wednesday to Wednesday? Why does your week have to run Sunday to Saturday? Or what if your 24 hours runs from 5 p.m. to 5 p.m.? You might have had an amazing 24 hours from 5 p.m. to 5 p.m., but when you're running it from midnight to midnight, well, it maybe sucked. Like, why does it have to run that way? You know, everything evens out at the end. I don't think anybody's just like, I had a terrible March and April. Completely awful.
Yeah.
No sale. You know, like it always evens out.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too with my attitude, because my attitude has sucked lately. It's just sucked. I don't know. I took this big old long break in December, and then I couldn't pull it was too long of a break. And so then I just couldn't get myself back in gear. My car broke and all this crap was happening. And I just forgot, I forgot to have fun. I forgot to have joy in it all. And so one of the things that brings me back in, this is so silly, but if you work by yourself and you kind of, you kind of have the privacy to be silly, I put on my music, my happy music. I dance around the room. I'm a dork. And that puts me in a good mood. And then I'm better. So you just got to find, especially when you work by yourself, you got to find your ways to pull yourself out of it, because nobody else is going to do it for you.
No, I don't have anybody hiding in the other room. That's just like, hey, let me entertain you and bring you joy.
There's no court gestures on my payroll. You have to be your own court gesture.
Yeah. Did you guys find speaking of like exciting things, did you guys find anything interesting this week? Last week? We haven't done a show for like 2 weeks, I think. Got anything, Lucy? You got anything cool?
Yeah, I just grabbed 2 books and 2 items. So this was my favorite find, and he's going for about $50.
Oh, cool.
And I got him at the let's see here, at Goodwill for like $3.99. But he also sings. So hold on, let me see if I can. I don't know if you can hear it.
The Indiana Jones song.
Somebody got a girlfriend who was like, why do you have that stupid potato on your shelf? You need to get rid of that stupid potato. And then they got donated.
And it's Taters of the Lost Ark. I love it.
That's so awesome. That was, somebody saved that and they had it. And then they're, Becky's like, it's got to go. It's the potato or me.
I'm imagining a student going off to college and they're getting rid of their toys, maybe. But
oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's a Toy Story.
We could come up with a lot of different scenarios.
Oh, a student going to college should sell it. That's what they do.
It was funny. We were, Kathleen, who used to live in Austin, she's a reseller, moved back to Minnesota, but she came into town last week. And so we did a little like small meetup, and it was Kathleen and Tracy Parks and this lady Anna that I met off of Instagram, who's come to a couple meetups, and a new lady Brenda that I found out doesn't live that far from me. And they were talking about how when they first got started reselling, that it hadn't even crossed their minds to like actually like sell things like for a long time. Like prior to that, where it was just like, it wasn't even like an option to be like, oh, I have these shoes. Let me put them on eBay and sell them. Like everything just got donated, like one of, like Anna was a product demonstrator or something. She used to get all of these samples and all of this stuff. And it didn't even like cross her mind to like sell them. She would just donate them to Goodwill,
Gosh, where's that store?
Yeah, she was getting like all this craft stuff. Apparently, like she was really good at crafting and taking photos of her crafting stuff, and so they would send her things for her to like promote their products. And yeah, she was just like getting rid of them, Like, do you remember that moment whenever you crossed over from like being a regular person to like being a reseller? Where it's like your mind kind of flipped.
Yeah, when I sold fish food. Yep.
You sold fish food?
Yeah, I think I talked about that once already. I don't know. It was like in 1999 or 2000, and I was like, anything sells. And so I tested it, and I had a half a jar of my beta fish had died, and I had a half a jar of beta fish food, and I sold it. I was like, someone is going to buy this half jar, and that was before pictures. So yeah,
maybe they didn't know it was a half a jar.
Well, it doesn't matter. They returned it.
What was your moment, Lucy, when you were like switched over from like?
Well, for full time, it was just when I got let go of my last job. I mean, they came in and they let go of a ton of people, and I'm like, I can't do it again. So I went full time reselling, but I'd been selling stuff for a long time before that.
Really?
Yeah. We would have garage sales as kids and sell our toys, you know.
I had sold stuff on eBay many years before I started being an actual reseller, because I had a store, an e-commerce store back in 2002, and I was selling things that I was buying wholesale from China on my own website and on eBay, and then I burnt myself out, and then I stopped doing it. And then I remember in 2006, me and my husband stopped at a garage sale, and there was what was called a digicomp. And it had copyright from like 1968, and it said like computer something on it. And I was like, give me $1. And he's like, why do you need that? And I'm like, it's copyrighted 1968 and it says the word computer on it. You know, like, give me $1. So I brought it home and I looked it up, and apparently they were super rare. They had like a following of people. It was supposed to be like a little computer. It's not an actual computer. I think it was almost like binary, you know, like binary code that you set up this little device that would calculate things for you. But I sold it for like over $100.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was like just a personal sell that I, you know, bought something and was like, I'm going to sell this. But I didn't get into reselling until 2012. I was reading a Suzanne Wells blog, and I was
Suzanne
like,
A. Wells.
Yes,
yeah.
I read her blog all the way through, and I had like a BOLO list that she had, and I actually went on eBay and like cross compared. I was like, okay, are these really worth something, or are these not really worth something? And I went and bought a pair of pink suede Danskos from Savers for like $5.99, and they sold for I think like $60, and that was the very first. That was my very first like flip that I got from a thrift store. That I went like, oh, I can do this. Like I can.
I think that.
Go ahead.
I think that you know, either you grow up in an environment where people have ideas and try to run with them, or, you know, flip things per se, or, you know, maybe you don't grow up in that environment. I know my son, you know, he doesn't really like the whole reselling thing, but he just hit us up. He wants to get into the Bitcoin and have a computer in the garage farming cryptocurrency. And I'm going, what? It's just cool that he even came up with that. And I don't know if we can do that, but there's just so many different ideas out there to make money these days. I think it's become a lot more socially acceptable as alternative means of income.
I think side hustles has just become really popular, having a side hustle. And, you know, I grew up in a family of thrifting. Like, I mean, because we were poor. So, like, Goodwill was, like, actually, like, Goodwill given, like, my stuff came from there kind of thing. But I grew up in a family of thrifters. My grandparents used to, you know, do garage sales and flea markets and stuff. My dad would do storage auctions to buy things. And, you know, it was just like part of the thing. And, you know, it's funny, like when you ever see it when it's Halloween time, and you see the college kids going into Goodwill that have never been in a thrift store before in their life. They're only there because they're trying to get a costume together, you know. And it's so weird listening to them talking you've ever like eavesdropped on their conversations, it's like the wildest thing to them to be like,
their mind is blown. Their mind is blown. They get all excited. It's like a whole new dimension opened up for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When that thrift shop song by Malcolm Moore came out, all the little teenagers in my little community were like, "We're going to the thrift store." They were so excited because that song made it more popular.
Yeah, I think it's funny though that, you know, since I have been doing eBay for my daughter's like majority of her remembering life, you know, like she's born in 2007 and I started 2011 or something like that. And so when she wants something, like she wants AirPods, you know, for her iPhone, she wants AirPods. When she wants something, she actually is like, "Mom, do you have any stuffed animals that I can list? You know, do you have any things that I can list that I can sell? Because I want some AirPods." You know, like, and I'm like, "Oh, my precious child, I love you so much."
No, that's excellent to teach them about money and how things work, because, you know, there's how much you can sell it for, and then there's the value of the actual item. And
well, you know, life is not always a straight line. And so I think it's really important to teach your kids that, okay, even if things didn't work out your way, you didn't finish college, or you lost your job, or you know, it's not the end of the world. There are other options. It's okay. You know, you can be smart and figure out how to make money. There's money everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, don't sell drugs, but, you know, like, and stay off the pole. But there's money everywhere that you can find a way, you know.
Yeah,
very true. So I got two other quick items.
Oh yeah,
this one's a little bit of a story. So these are just end of the year, kind of Christmassy. I think they were put out for Christmas at Walmart, and they're just extension cords. They're 9-foot extension cords. They have gray ones. These are all clearancing out for $1 right now at Walmart's. And so I've been using the new website called Breezy to help with retail arbitrage. Anyhow, so I went and looked these up, and they're not quite on Amazon, and comparable ones are not very expensive on Amazon, but they're going on eBay for $10.99 to $14.99. So I went ahead and grabbed 6 because for $1, I'm going to pick up these extension cords.
That is crazy, because I literally just bought one of those at my Walmart at full price.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's just like, I got suckered.
I'll sell you this one for $2.
Well, now I already got one. I paid $10 for. So.
And then the other thing that I wanted to bring up is these 2 books. And I actually have the comps I can show later, but my library does Friends to Friends. And if you are starting off or just have low capital, or, you know, need some quick, easy flips, the library is the place to go in my area. So your area might be different, but here we have a ton of book scanners. I go to any thrift store and there is, you know, at least 1 or 2 book scanners there scanning. What are you doing, Deb? You're making me
I'm scanning.
Oh, okay. So the library doesn't have any. So I kind of know the manager there. I pop in about once a month, sometimes more frequently. But we have so many resources at the library. They were doing tax help, free tax questions there the weekend, this last weekend that I went. So anyhow, this one used is going for about $40, and this one is going for about $15. These are 50 cents a piece. So if you are thinking about reselling, or, you know, just want to add some inventory, you know, for 50 cents, you really can't go wrong. And for me, like, it's a good way to test products out. If you're kind of uncertain about rank, you know, go ahead and buy a 4 million rank book if it's 50 cents and see how it sells, see how the competition is, because, you know, rank doesn't give you the whole picture, but you can get the feel for scanning and for selling. And at 50 cents, you know, even if you just learn something from it, that's so worth the price.
Yeah, I think with rank, when something's more rare, people forget that the rank is going to go up because it was out of stock. It wasn't available. And so it might have a 6 million rank only because it was out of stock for the last 8 months and nobody could buy anything to make the rank less. Because I had an item that I listed on Amazon that was unavailable, you know, and some people, if they were scanning, they would have, oh, that rank's too high. But I listed it on Amazon Merchant Fulfilled, and it literally it took like less than 2 weeks to sell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So real quick, Sell Quick, Ship Quick, we got the name here right, wants to know, recommending a scanner for books. I did not use my scanner at the library just because it's very quiet and I don't know how to turn the sound off yet. So I got to figure out that setting. Yeah. But yeah, scanners are really good for books, but I also use it for clothes. So when I'm in Ross and Marshall and I'm scanning through clothes, I love the scanner. I put my earbuds on and have my scanner, and people often think I work there, unfortunately, so I got to get the sound off.
Yeah, you do. It's kind of obvious when it's all booping on the other side.
It's on my list to do.
What do you got to show us, Miss Trish? I know you picked up some faces.
Couple.
You're the queen of the faces. Those are so creepy to me.
Cool.
Maybe
Let's
see it.
Yeah. Isn't that odd? Okay, so it's just, I don't know what it is. Hard polymer. I don't know. You can knock on his noggin, but somebody made it, and it's got all the wrinkles. And then I got this one also. How cool is that, right? I just listed these this morning. This one I listed for $59, and this one I listed for $69 because he's a little bigger.
I like the older guy one. I think it's
I do
cool,
too.
Like
He's got
the crow's feet and the
he's got crow's feet, and his cheeks are sunken from just being elderly. So I don't know. I think they'll sell. People love quirky things. They love to have things that nobody else has. So I got those. I paid $3 each for them.
I still think they're creepy though.
They are creepy, but I love me some faces. I also bought a couple little colognes at that same estate sale. There haven't been any estate sales, and so this was last Thursday. And I paid $3 for this. It's vintage 1988, and this will sell for about $20, $25.
Does it smell like the desert of Santa Fe?
No, but it definitely smells like a man, because when I opened it, I spilled it all over myself, and I was really manly until I hopped in the shower. And then,
what were you doing today?
Where were you? Working by yourself, my foot. And then I bought another one, but I already packed it and shipped it. It sold yesterday. I paid $3 for each of those, and that was also vintage. And that sold the same day for, I think I sold it for $19.99 plus shipping, or it was free shipping. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, so I haven't been out much because there just have not been any lately. So I'm really grasping.
I actually did go shopping.
I'm so excited to hear about your stuff.
Yeah, no, okay. So I went shopping last week with my friends when we did the meetup. I only bought 3 items. We went to 3 thrift stores, and I bought 3 items. Because I was just like cash poor. So I was like, I gotta be really picky about what I buy. But I ended up buying, I'll talk about them when I do my sales, but I ended up buying some little Hallmark Peanuts characters. I bought some hair curlers, and I bought a bra, which I'll talk about in my sales because I sold it already. But yesterday I had a doctor's appointment, so I was like, I'm gonna do some quick, like in and out the thrift stores kind of thing. I bought this pair of flip-flops at one store. I've never seen these like this. I've always seen the flip-flops with the thong thing in the middle, like the toe.
Yeah.
So I bought these. They were $7.99. I found them on eBay. Somebody had sold some for $40. I didn't look them up at the store. I was just like, oh, these are cool. I've never seen this style before. People love these shoes for, like, if you have plantar fasciitis and stuff like that.
Is that a fit flop?
This is a fit flop, yep.
Wow, that's cool. I haven't seen one like that either.
Yeah, I hadn't at all. Normally the ones I see, like I said, they're like a flip flop.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got those. If you've been following along with me for a while, if y'all remember, I had bought a bunch of vintage pull-ups diapers. And I bought 22 packs of them. I'm down to 2. I have 2 left. And I've been selling them from anywhere from $25 to $40. So that was a good buy on those. Crazy. But yesterday I found some more vintage diapers. I got 8 packs of these Huggies from 2002. They have Mickey Mouse on them. And I was really hem-hawing around about it when I was at the store. Because like I said, I'm a little cash poor right now. And I was like, oh, they're $5.99 a piece times 8. And that's like $50, you know, like I couldn't find a comp. I could find other ones, but I couldn't really find a comp. And I was like, you know, do I really want to risk this $50 on these diapers, even though in my reseller mind, I was like, these are going to be fine. Well, I got to the register with them all. And for some reason, when they price them, I don't know if you can see it, it says set. $5.99 for the set.
Oh my God.
So I got all 8 packages for $5.99. So when the cashier was like, do you want to donate $1 to the, I was like, I'll donate 5.
You were like, no.
I was like, you totally made my day. You're like, so yeah. Well, these are, I'm going to show you some comps of similar things and stuff that you might want to keep an eye out for because it's kind of cuckoo birds. So let me share here real quick. All right. So here's some vintage Huggies. You can see like, you know, 30, $20. But if you can find these purple packs, they sell for crazy, crazy money. And they're from the 90s. And you would think like, I'm never going to find these. But for some odd reason, people still have these things somewhere in their houses because they donate them. But
That's
look at these
crazy
purple
pants.
ones. Yeah. $60, $70. These ones that have the Mickey Mouse on them are going for over $100 just for a couple of diapers. This is one diaper. One. Uno. That has the Muppets on it.
I want to know who is buying this.
You know, they were asking me at the store, look at this, $462 for 70s, 80s, 90s diapers. They were asking me at the store, like, oh, you got a deal on these diapers for your, you know, and I was like, oh, no, these are vintage. Like, you couldn't use these on a baby, you know, like, I'm sure they've chemically reacted at this point. And she goes, well, what are they for? And I said, oh, you know, like movie props, you know, like, you can do them for movie props. I didn't want to say, like, you know, freakish odd people that like to buy those things. So, yeah, movie props. But crazy. Keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. And also like vintage, like feminine hygiene, like Kotex pads from the 90s and the 80s. I've sold those before for like $80.
Okay, I have to tell this story right now.
Okay.
It's about vintage Kotex. And it was when I was vintage. When I was in high school, I lived in this tiny little town and I had this super huge crush on this guy. And my mother sent me in our grocery store, the Super Duper, to buy her Kotex maxi pads, the kind that you hang, you know, you put on a belt.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, he was working there. And I'm like, I can't let him see me. I can't let him see me pick up this big thing at Kotex. So I'm trying to be like super inconspicuous. And then he comes down the aisle as I'm picking up the Kotex. And I get so embarrassed and flustered that I knocked all of the Kotex off the shelves, all in the shelves. And he had to pick them up.
And then you ran away.
And I was just like mortified. I was like, I swear these super maxi Kotex pads are not mine.
That's so funny.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So
but
I picked up a couple other things. I picked up some Allegrias, but they don't have their insoles in them, which I had a customer recently like talk me down on a pair because she was like, I have to buy new insoles for them because that's the whole point of them is for it to conform to your foot, kind of like a Doc Marten, where it conforms to your own foot, which it does. It's like a Birkenstock where it's like, this is my foot, you know. So I had asked the cashier, I said, hey, somebody took the insoles out of these. Like this one has a pair of Merrell insoles in them. And I was like, you know, can we negotiate on the price? And she's like, oh, I'll give them to you for $10. But I don't think she noticed that I also wanted this pair for $10. So I ended up paying $15 for them. But they're my size, so if I want to keep them, I already have insoles I can take out of my other ones and put in here. So
would it be worth it to purchase new insoles and put that with the listing?
They're kind of expensive. They're like $30, and I don't know if it would be worth it to to add that in. I don't know if it would be that much of a trigger for someone, because that was my very first customer of, used ones that was like, oh, I have to get a new pair of insoles. Nobody's ever said anything. Yeah. And they're supposed to be replaced every year anyway. If you actually go to the Allegria website, it says, they recommend you replacing the insoles every year to, keep the same support and stability that you're getting. They're super comfortable shoes. I wear them a lot now. Just because I will get plantar fasciitis too if I'm doing too much, when I used to be a merchandiser and I was walking around all the time, it used to be really bad. Like, it felt like I was walking on bruises.
I've had the 2 surgeries, one on each foot for fasciitis.
Okay. I'm going to run to my freezer real quick because there is something else I got super excited I found. So I'm going to go grab it. But
the freezer?
Yeah. Just talk amongst yourselves.
I don't know. She's kind of scaring me. She's got those creepy masks, and now she's going to the freezer.
Stuff in her freezer. Yeah, so I found a new thrift store I actually didn't know existed. Bonafide Hustler had it on his video. He lives in Austin. And I was like, oh, that's a new thrift store I've never seen before. And I had went to one of the stores that he had went to on his video that I used to go to all the time. It was super crowded in there. And my too much stuff anxiety was just like, and I left. And I went down the street to this new thrift store called Hope. That's where I got these Allegrias from. And they have it so organized in there. It's like your dream thrift store. It's just like all sectioned off and everything's so nice, and the prices were good.
We had a little Christian or Catholic, I can't remember, place like that near my mom's that just went under, and I was so mad. They were so nice and everything was organized and the prices were amazing.
Yeah. All right, what'd you get from the freezer, Trish?
Okay. I got.
Why do you have shoes in the freezer?
Your Red Wings.
Yes, these are vintage Red Wing safety work boots. Nice. I got them at Goodwill. It's the only thing I bought that day. I paid $7 for them because they forgot to mark them. And I had these on my Insta story for a minute, and that lady was really annoyed. She was like, ooh, somebody forgot to mark those. And I was like, yep, but I had them in my hand. She couldn't not give them to me. Anyway, I looked these up, and it took me a minute to find some stuff. I couldn't find them, and the only place I could find them was in Japan. So apparently this particular style is super popular in Japan, and this particular boot sold for over $500 in Japan. What? Yeah. So I have since found them. What I did was I took the Japanese and I put it in the translator thing, and I was able to pick out some words, and I found the name. And as soon as I found the name, I looked them up, and I did find some in this style that sold in the United States for like $245. So yeah, vintage Red Wings. And it has something to do with this sole. This sole is what made them popular. So, yeah, I don't know. And then there's another one, like this has a tag in it that says Red Wing. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you can see that. Sometimes that wing will point into the boot, and that makes it more popular and desirable. And then there's another one that's like a hound dog or a dog of some kind, which makes that one also is more popular.
I've never found any Red Wings. They're so expensive. Like, my husband bought a pair, and they are like the priciest things, like as far as work boots are concerned.
Yeah, they're expensive. And the reason why I had them in the freezer is because they smelled super musty. Oh. And so I put newspaper in them, and then I bagged them up and put them in the freezer. And by the way, little tip, if you put something in the freezer, bag it up, because if you don't, it's going to smell like all your frozen broccoli and cauliflower and French fries. I made that mistake, so don't do that.
That's another tip for like if you sell plush. If you have a deep freeze, you can freeze them. It'll take the allergens like out of them.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. Apparently, that's what they say. I don't freeze my plush, but
I love my Red Wing boots. That's all I would wear with working in safety plants because we had to have steel toes and non-slip. And they are super comfortable once you get them broken in.
all right. So, do we want to talk about some sales now? Who wants to go first?
Go ahead. Lucy.
Lucy,
Right.
you want to go first?
Let's see here. I think, let's see here if we're doing it. Tell me if that works right.
Yep. Let me present you real quick so everybody can see. Just you.
Perfect.
There you go.
Okay, so I just brought up some tabs here, and this first one is just some hiker socks that I got on clearance at, I want to say Marshall's or Ross for $7, and they sold for $20. So if you're just getting into clothes, clothes is an amazing category to get into with Amazon. But as you know, a lot of the brands are going to be gated down. So if you're just starting in clothes, my suggestion is go to your socks selection and do some scanning there because you never know what you're going to find. Some of these, compression socks or just hiking socks or wool socks can be good. Also, what is it? Stance, S-T-A-N-C-E. Stance socks can be good too. I don't remember if that brand is gated or not. But socks is a good place to start. And then once you build up, then start applying for the other brands to get ungated in. Also, baby clothes and items for your baby are a good place to start. So anyhow, made a little bit of money off of those.
Nice.
Sold a bunch of these puzzles, which I got at my local Bartell's, which is like a CVS or Rite Aid. And I love sourcing there because there's only about 4 or 5 in the Northwest. It's local to me. Each store has different discounts, and it's up to the manager. So each manager will, depending on their traffic, clearance things out. Some will clearance out faster, some will clearance out slow, some care, some don't. So I love going and hitting up each one. So anyhow, they had these puzzles on clearance for $9. I picked up probably about 6 of them and made some good cash there. So if you are, having trouble competing with other sellers out there, try to get as local as you can so that you don't have all that competition. Like my mentality going into my Bartell's is different than when going into a Walmart or Target. When I go into a Walmart or Target, I know I'm going to have a lot of competition. Next up, these guys, glassware. I love crystal. These were on clearance for $2.99 a piece at Ross, I want to say. And I do bubble wrap these guys up, but don't be afraid. They're glass and they're a little bit heavy, but you can make a bit of money off of crystal. And let's see here. I did a bunch of Spode plateware this Christmas, Lennox, Mikasa. So anyhow, don't be afraid of glass. Just use a lot of bubble wrap. Bubble wrap is cheap.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to bring up these books. This is the used price going for right now for that book that I showed. This is the other one. It's going for $14. And then this is the Mr. Potato Head right now going.
Ooh, nice.
And then here's the comps on those.
Yeah, crazy.
All right.
You got bamboozled.
I'm bitter.
Oops. I lost myself. Hang on. There we go. Do you want to go next or you want me to go, Trish?
I'll go because your stuff is so cool. I want it to be last. Let's save the best for last.
Stuff is not that cool. Okay. Hang on. Let me find your goodies here. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
Okay, so this didn't sell for much, $14.99, but the reason why I added this one is because it was an ashtray, and ashtrays are really, really hard to sell unless you have those ones that stand up, have this, they have the big old stand and they stand on the floor. They're really hard to sell. And the reason why I picked this one up was, I think I paid like 50 cents for it or something, was because it was dimensional and it had horses. So there was cross interest. And I only had it listed for a couple days and it sold for $15. So, but just, even the most interesting ashtrays, they don't always sell that well. So, You just have to be super careful if you're going to pick up an ashtray. This is the other cologne that I bought at that estate sale last week, and it sold the same day I listed it. I paid $3 for it, and it sold for $20. It's vintage.
Fishy.
Quick question on the
Yes, ma'am.
perfume. Do you have to make sure it chips ground?
Yes, you should.
We always do that, of course.
Yes, of course we do. The one thing I definitely do is take it off of international shipping. I don't have any international. I did one time. I shipped one to Canada, and I was so tense about it that I felt like I was going to break into a million pieces until I knew it got there safely, and I didn't blow up a passenger plane. So it got there. This is a gurgle pot fish. Gurgle pots, okay, so there's another one called a gluggle jug, which is more intricate in its design. Like it has little fishy scales and stuff like that. This I paid a couple bucks for. I can't remember, $3 or $4. And it sold pretty quick for 20 bucks, but the gluggle jug is the one that you really want to look out for.
All right.
This is a Z coil. I got this at an estate sale. Z coils were pretty popular for a while. Like they were on fire for a while, and then they just kind of disappeared. So when I got these at an estate sale, I was kind of taking a chance. And I put them up for 90 bucks and they sold.
Nice. Bunnies.
Bunnies. Okay, so the reason why I picked these is because they're Pier 1 plates. And if you find something that has something like these rabbits from Pier 1, always look them up because these things have a following. Pier 1 has certain designs that they have a following, their patterns, people collect them, and then they get discontinued and they want them. So these sold either the same day or the day after I listed them. I can't remember. I think I paid $10 or $12 for 6, and one of them was chipped. So I sold them in sets of 2 for 30 bucks each, and the same person bought both sets for $60. And so I have one right now. The chipped one I gave to Goodwill, but I have one left that I'm going to list for 20 today, actually.
Nice.
And then that's all. Is that all I put on there?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I just want to say real quick that, so I listed something this morning that I had on my Insta story, and it was like a little building. I don't know if you can see it. That guy, it's on my Insta story. It's just a little figurine. It's like maybe that big. And I bought it for $4 at an estate sale. And while I was talking about this stuff, it just sold for 60 bucks.
Woohoo!
Yeah. And
Nice.
I just listed it like maybe an hour or 2 ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That is all.
All right, here's my goodies. Okay, so here are the other, these are pull-ups, good nights that I had. Only 9 pants, and I've been selling these, like I said, for anywhere from $25 to $40 a piece. I know it says I sold 7, but I've actually sold 20. I did relist them at one point because I didn't want to say I had 22 pairs. I wanted to just like keep the quantity down. Because if you have a lot of something, you don't want to be like, I have 100 of them. You're like, no, I have 3. But, you know, like, let's keep the market a little scarce. You know, you don't want to you don't want to saturate your own self, basically, I guess is what I'm saying.
Really quick, Deb.
That's a smart idea.
What's up?
How do you tell if they are vintage or not? I mean,
It actually has the date on them.
Okay.
These are from 1994. You can also tell there's no website on here. There's no www. On there at all. Yeah.
Huh.
So, yeah, that's how you know. Because they often update their copyrights because of designs and things like that. Like, it's almost like diapers are constantly being redone. But yeah, they're dated, and you can always tell if it's vintage just because it's not going to have or that it's older because it's not going to have a website on it. Yeah.
Neat.
And then this is the bra. This isn't anal or anal. Anal bra. These were really popular back when The Biggest Loser came out, because these were the bras that the women wore. Oprah, when she was starting her weight loss journey, was also touting these bras for their support. They're for the, if you can see the tag, I didn't take a picture of it. On the other side, it says for the well-endowed woman. So they're high impact support bras. I've bought one when I used to jog. It cost me $70, which you can see on the tag says $70. But I paid $7.99 for this one at Goodwill last Wednesday. I took a best offer of $35. And yeah, so not bad. And then I sold another Cocomotion. It's the last one I had that was in my stockpile, like of stuff. It was like in a box. I didn't even know it was in there, like the other one. I was like, oh, I didn't even know I had two. I took a best offer on this one as well of $35. If you find these, they fit perfectly in a 10 by 10 by 10 box. Like it's like the perfect size for them. But anyway, yeah, so that one went for $35. Now this one I got a tip from Thrift to Travel. She was talking about these butterfly, like they're for your booty. And so they're for your booty. Anyway, I found them. She was talking about a gray box of them that say men's on them, and you can sell those for like $30 a box. I actually found these by accident at my grocery store on the clearance section when I was over in frozen foods buying stuff. And I looked over and there was these butterfly, and I was like, oh, that's the things that she was talking about. So they were $3 a piece, and they sold within like 2 days for $40 plus shipping. So
I saw that come out, and I have looked at just about every store that I've been to over the last 2 weeks for that, and none of my stores even have that. I also went to. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
Oh, I also went to the reviews on them. Maybe not that brand, but the reviews were eye-opening. Put it that way.
Really? Yeah, I went over to like the section where I thought these would be, like, you know, kind of by like the poise and stuff like that. And there wasn't any place on the shelf for them. I have a feeling that somebody special ordered these at my store. And because what happens, I realized when I special ordered something from the store, because I wanted a certain kind of rice cake, and they were like, oh, well, how many do you want? Will you take a case of them? And I'm like, well, I don't know what's in a case. You know, like, is there 12 or is there 80? You know, like, and nobody called me to tell me like that they had come in. And I was just grocery shopping, and all 12 of them were over in the clearance section for like 50 cents. So I got them all for 50 cents a piece. I was like, maybe I need to start special ordering stuff and just like not coming to pick it up and then going and buying it on clearance. when they put it on the thing, because my store is really small, so their shelf space, you know, is kind of valuable to them. So I have a feeling that somebody ordered these and then like only got like 6, or I don't know how many come in a case, because there wasn't a shelf space for them. But yeah.
Didn't you find them in a weird place, like at the end cap of the ice cream aisle or something?
Yes, yeah, they were. It was next to the ice cream for Djibouti. Anyway,
so Trish was talking about being embarrassed. Imagine if I ordered a case of those and had to go to the store pick it up with my kids.
Yes, I need to get a case of booty pads, please.
You'll find it next to the chocolate ice cream.
It's for those lactose intolerant people that can't help themselves.
And then I have one more to share. Okay, so this is the thing that I bought last Wednesday. I bought a set of them. I bought a set of 4. There's 5 in there. I was missing Linus. If you can find Linus consistently sells for like $150, $200. These are from the 2011 Hallmark Motion and Sound series for Peanuts. If you can find this set new, you can sell the whole set for $500. It's kind of crazy pants. I was so excited because I didn't buy anything at the store. I was sitting there and I saw this bag of peanuts, and I went over and kind of sat down in a chair, and I was just waiting for my friends that were shopping. And I looked it up and I was like, oh, I think I found something good. So I paid $7 for Charlie Brown, Snoopy, Lucy, and Schroeder. And Lucy was the one most valuable out of the group. I took a best offer of $125 on her. And what's funny is, what is funny? What was funny? I don't know what was funny. Anyway, oh, what I wanted to talk about was the best offer. I've started doing auto accepting offers. And I don't know if you guys do that. I never did that before. I know some people auto decline. I don't auto decline. I want to know, because sometimes I'm having a bad day and I will take your $15. You know, like, but I've started doing auto accept on what I think is a reasonable price. So if I list something for $40, right, then that's the price I want. I want $40. But I know I paid $6 for it, and, you know, $25 would be fine. I'll go ahead and auto accept at $25. And I've been finding that I have a lot more sales that way. And I have a lot less non-paying buyers, because they make the offer, it comes back as accepted, and they pay. It's almost like they did an immediate, like, buy it now. And I haven't had any, like, non-paying buyers since I started doing, like, auto accept.
That's true. I could see that, because so many purchases are impulse buys. And if you wait, then the impulse is over. And I've had people that I've accepted their offer a day later. Well, the last two actually were non-paying. So
yeah. And sometimes people go down a list and they just make an offer to 5 different sellers, you know? So I've found that it's really working for me. I would suggest trying it. You know, if you list it for $50 and you're like, you know, I would take 37, you know, like, put it on there, because it's working for me.
Yeah.
Well, and if it's outside your range, you will still get a notification. So
yeah, the offer still comes through. It's not like auto decline where it doesn't come through. You don't even see it, you know. But if it's out of the, if it was, because I actually had that Lucy as an auto accept at $90.
Oh,
but they made an offer of $125. You know.
I saw that you put a video in.
Yeah, can you talk about that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let me. Okay. So I've been putting videos in my eBay listings for many years, because if something makes a noise or it moves, I find that it sells way better. Even for more money than other people, just to show that it's working. So let me share here. Now, eBay did change their policy on, oops, where's my window? Window, hello. Hold on, my window went away. eBay did change their policy on what's considered active content. You used to be able to just embed the video into your listing. Then when they took out active content, you had to do it a little differently. You go in through, here, I'll show you. It's ISDNT. I'll put the link over in the chat. YouTube Converter. And they have updated it all for being part of the ban on active content, because it doesn't actually embed anymore. What it does is it'll pop out. So here's the video, and it'll actually open it in YouTube when they click on it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So it doesn't violate the active content policy at all. And so all you do is you upload your video to YouTube, and then you paste the URL right here, and it'll give you the code. When you do the code, what you're going to do, here, I'll go back and show you. Let me... I don't want to show their name. Hang on. Let me find my stuff. Where's my things? All right. Okay, so like on this listing, when I made the listing, I just typed in like what I wanted to say, and then you click this little button, the HTML button, and you copy and paste the code. You can see this code down here. That came from this box. Like, it'll make a code for you. Here, I'll show you. So you copy the link that you want to put in, you put it right here, and you say, make a code. And then you can see there's your video and here's the code. And so you just put that over under your description in the HTML, and it comes out like that.
That is so cool. That is probably one of the most valuable pieces of information I have seen in a long time.
Yeah, I've been doing that for a really long time. It just helps a lot. I used to also do it for an item that just had too much condition issues for me to type out. I had found a vintage, one of those salad thingies with the discs.
Oh, salad shooter?
But they're the metal ones, the metal like turny crank thing, and it's got all these different little cones. It was like $100 thing, but it had so many condition issues that there was just no way for me to type that out. So I made a condition video. And I was like, please seed the video for the condition of this item, you know. And it worked out great. Like, I sold it for full price, and the buyer didn't say jack about like, hey, this thing doesn't suction to the table, because I said it in the video, this doesn't suction to the table, and showed it didn't suction to the table. Like, so yeah.
I wonder if a customer had issues with something and it was said in the video, if eBay would then side with you if they would go and watch the video.
I don't know, but you know, the thing about it is if I have a video in my listing showing the item is working, and you say it doesn't work, and I'm like, this is the video of it working, you know, like. So I don't know. I've never had any issues with anybody saying anything about, oh, you know, it said this and that's not what it was. So I think if they take the time to watch the video, then they're already committed, you know. Like, they watched the video and they bought it, and it's like, yeah.
Well, that is very cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, definitely.
You're welcome.
I think I'm going to try that. I actually already have listed my faces, but I think as soon as I can figure out how to do a YouTube video, I'm going to just go, so this is what it looks like. Notice the fine wrinkles.
Yeah, it works out really well. And you, here, let me show you. I actually have I have a separate YouTube for the stuff in my store. So, let me bring it up here. I would show you. So I have what's called the Pinching Peso shopping booth channel. So it's completely separate from like the channel you're watching right now. And it's just all the videos of the different stuff that talked or moved. I made a whole video of these littlest pet shops because there were so many of them. I was not going to take all those pictures. I only have 12. Okay. So I literally did a condition video. You can see it was 10 minutes long for those littlest pet shops. But yeah, it's just different stuff that moves. And I even tried like just, I don't know, just different videos of stuff just because, you know. Like,
do you set your camera on a tripod or do you do it on your phone?
I just do it on my phone. And the way that YouTube works now is super easy. Like, you basically just press like the record button if you, or like you record from your camera, and then you just press, like, go to YouTube and press the upload button, and it's like right there, and you just put your title in. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, so excited to try that.
Okay, so here's a creepy question. We all know that there's people out there that want you to try on shoes and stuff. Would you ever do that? Would that make a difference?
You know, if they fit me, I really don't care. I don't mind. If you want to see my feet and you want to give me $60, it's feet.
I could just see this being used for nefarious purposes.
You're like, yeah, I can try them on. And you're like this. You didn't say I had to put them on my feet. All right. So we're past our hour. Does anybody have any questions before we close out for the day? we are gonna be. Everybody's talking about videos now.
You got them all excited. You got me excited.
I don't know. Okay.
I don't
Daddy wants to
understand.
know what is wrong with me. Boy, you know what's wrong with me. So, all right. Well, I guess we're going to go ahead and close out for the day. Thank you, everybody who joined us today. And if you have any questions after the fact, you can always post them down in the comments. I do respond to those. And other than that, bye. Y'all have a good day. Thank you so much. We love you guys.
Bye.